Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of Bouncing Back with Brighton. We've come straight after the last episode. We're continuing straight on. We are going to live com the Manchester United game in the League Cup semi-final, and we'll also conclude our January transfer business. So it did occur to me after the last episode, I don't think I ever showed you the Premier League table during that episode. So here it is. We currently sit top of the table on 45 points. We're only 1 point clear of Liverpool in third, who have a game in hand though, so they could easily topple us at the top of the table. But after 19 games, halfway through the season, we are still unbeaten. Just the 6 draws that are a little bit concerning. But Manchester City are on the same points, but we've played in one less game than them. Well, it looks like top 4 is starting to form itself. Obviously, Manchester United and Chelsea is still hot in the heels of Arsenal in particular. But I think Brighton, Man City and Liverpool, I think that'll be the top 3 this season, whatever order it comes in. Nothing else to speak of in terms of transfers right now. I am going to be hunting for some regens during the rest of this January transfer window. A first team player might end up falling into my lap. That will be absolutely fantastic. But 120 million... we can start spending 4 or 5 million on random regens, getting them into the club and looking to loan them out. So the first game of this episode is against Blackburn. We're not going to live comment, we are just going to review it once it's been done. So if nothing happens between now and then, I'll show you the result. A couple of more youngsters leaving the club on loan. Our new signing, Wissam Tamri, the centre midfielder from Tunisia, is going to join Sporting Lisbon for the rest of the season. He looks like he could become a very, very capable centre midfielder. Victor Mejia, haven't seen very much of him. He's been on loan in Colombia for the past 2 seasons. Looks like now he's going to join Braga on loan for the rest of the season. He's a very well-rounded striker. Unlikely to ever make it into our first team squad, but he could potentially become a squad player. You never really know, but we'll get the match reports. We'll hope he does well, and we'll see him when he comes back. Well, we made that very, very difficult for ourselves. Brighton sitting top of the table, sitting pretty. Blackburn sitting in 20th at home. Seems like an easy game, doesn't it? It's never that easy. David Ibrahim ended up putting us in the lead in the 83rd minute. We were banging at the door pretty much the entire game. Unfortunately for us, we couldn't break them down. And thankfully, in the 80th minute, we did so. Aquino doubled our lead in the 92nd minute just to make sure. But I had fears. I thought it was another draw. Another youngster out the door, Miguel Santos, has joined Rio Ave for the rest of the season. A talented right midfielder. Again, another one who would struggle to get into a first team squad, honestly, particularly because he's not a natural in that right wing spot. But again, another one for the future. Potentially make some profit on him. So we're now at the live com for today's episode, which is the second leg of the semi-final League Cup against Manchester United. We have some selection headaches. Our South American contingent is still at the Olympic game qualifiers, so they are unavailable for selection. And the problem with that is a lot of our players have got a high risk of injuries, but we haven't really got suitable replacements for them because they're all away or injured. So this is going to be the lineup for today's game with that in mind. Jack Butland in goal, Valentin, Gonçalves, Badiashile and Abilio Neves in the defence. Jordan Henderson in that defensive midfield role with Aquino in the centre. Sebastian Yaros and Alvarado on the wings with Gravenberch in behind David Ibrahim. Ideally, we wouldn't have Yaros, Gravenberch, Alvarado or Ibrahim in. They are all at a high risk of injury, but we need to play the best squad possible. We are 1-0 down after the first leg, and if we are to overturn this, it needs to be a very special performance. We are at home, so that could always make the difference. Let's get the kick-off. So Manchester United kick-off, we are shooting from right to left. I wasn't too bothered about the first leg, but seeing as though we got beat and it's a chance to get to a domestic cup final, I would really like to see a good performance from today's boys and hopefully see us through into a final. Winning trophies is always nice regardless of what they are. 15 minutes in, there's a corner for us. Alvarado plays it in. Gonçalves gets his head on it, but unfortunately goes just over the bar. 35 minutes in now, it's been a relatively quiet first half, not too much action from either side as Aquino plays in a free kick. Falls to Alvarado in the box, and that is a great first time finish to put us 1-0 up 6 minutes before half time. His 6th goal of the season, playing as a bit part player as well, which is fantastic. A decent ball in by Aquino, but Jonathan Tah is equal to it. A poor clearance by him falls to Alvarado, who makes no mistakes. 1-0. And there we are, half time. Brighton 1, Manchester United 0. It is 1-1 on aggregate. Hopefully a repeat of the first half in the second half will see us through comfortably. I'm not too optimistic. It wasn't a great first half in terms of chances created for either side. But but going in 1-0 up without them really creating anything it's nice. Another free kick from Aquino, whips it in this time. Kamara manages to clear only as far as Badiashile. Sebastian Yaros has it on the edge. He goes for the strike and he knocks it just wide. We're knocking on the door. Another set piece by us. Alvarado plays in this time and Gonçalves gets his head on it again, but goes just wide. Another highlight straight away with the goal kick from Manchester United. It's Anthony Martial with the ball on the left-hand side. Finds Paul Pogba, who goes for the strike. Butland claims it easy. That is surely not the highlight. Aquino heads it onto Gravenberch as the highlight does continue. Alvarado whips it in Yaros's back post and he knocks it at the far post for his 7th goal of the season. And it makes it Brighton 2, Manchester United 0, 2-1 on aggregate. If things stay as they are, we are into the League Cup final. It was some decent play by us, keeping possession in the defensive area. We managed to find our break, and Alvarado with an absolutely beautiful ball across for Yaros, who has a fine finish and makes it 2-0. Hopefully now, maybe, I don't really want to change anything. We'll look to make substitutions though. The last thing we need is any more injuries. Bert Jacobs can come on for Gravenberch. Darius Courtney can come on for Alvarado on that left-hand side. And we'll look to get Marco Boulat in for Aquino there to save his legs. Last thing we need is him getting injured. He's really is a driving force for us in that centre of midfield. 5 minutes to go. If we can hold on, we will make it. Another highlight. Corner for us by Yaros. It's cleared by Aaron Martin only as far as Henderson. Falls to Jacobs on the edge. Henderson goes to Henderson. A huge ball over the top for Manchester United. Falls to Martial. Is it going to be an opportunity for them? We might be able to counter ourselves here. Darius Courtney nicks in and pinches the ball from the right back. He's driving forward on that left-hand side. He gets the ball in. That is such great play by Darius Courtney. Playing in an unfamiliar position. Driving forward, beating men. And then rather than go for the strike, pulls it back for Bert Jacobs. He does excellently here to win the ball. As you can see, then he drives forward down that left-hand side. And Bert Jacobs is just arriving in the box. And that's it. 3-0, 3-1 in aggregate. We're through to the final, lads. And this will be the final highlight of the game. They get a goal here. Doesn't really matter too much odds. I would prefer to keep a clean sheet though. And there we are. There's the final whistle. Brighton 3, Manchester United 0. 3-1 in aggregate. Easy does it. We're justified in playing a rotated side in the first leg now. And there's the confirmation. Brighton boot Wembley Place. I don't even know who is even in the other semi-final. It'll either be Liverpool or Everton. Hopefully Everton can overcome Liverpool with them being at home in the second leg. Or is that what the first leg was, Everton at home? I don't know. I don't really care. So it'll be Everton or Liverpool. Decent result for us. So we've got 2 more games still left. Everton in the FA Cup and Southampton in the Premier League to go before the end of the January transfer window. I'm waiting for some scout reports to come back before I make some moves on some youngsters. I'll keep you updated though when it happens. So we've got a new signing coming in, a 16-year-old winger we have signed. He's French, Louis Ntola. We're signing from Reims. He looks okay for a left winger. The main draw here is, of course, his 20 determination. I think he's 4.5 or 5-star potential. He's only a 1-star current ability. He is going to be going into me under 18s. Again, another long-term signing, another long-term project there. We've got a couple of more of them sort of players coming in. Hopefully they'll be joining before the end of the window. So we've just played Everton in the FA Cup 4th round and managed to squeeze past them 1-0. We did dominate the game. Veerman ended up getting his first goal for the club in the 4th minute to see us through safely to the next round. It was a bit of a dull game, not many chances created for either side, but we did dominate possession and created more opportunities than they did, and I think justified our place into the next round. 2 more youngsters joining the club, the first of which is Dejon Wendling, signing from Lyon. He's only 15 years old, 20 determination goalkeeper. Again, another one who will be going into our under-18s and hopefully seeing some big rises from him. This is the final one. I think we'll probably sign for the summer. I haven't seen anybody else pop up on my feed. Aldrich Burker was signing from Sparta Prague. He looks like a fantastic centre-half with the 20 determination. His defensive ability already is fantastic at only 17 years old. Physically, he's a little bit weak. That's the area he's really got to develop for me. But he is definitely somebody who I could see making it into the first team squad within a couple of years, hopefully, if he develops right. But we're bringing him in. We'll get him into the under-23s, see if we can loan him out. But if not, I'm happy for him to stay there and develop using our excellent coaches and our excellent facilities. So we've just played our final game of today's episode. And boy, do I wish we actually live-commed this one. We ended up beating Southampton 6-2 at home. We went 2-0 up through 2 goals from Diogo Aquino in the centre of the park, but then Luis Gonçalves got himself sent off just before half-time. Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain then got one back for Southampton. Ibrahim Post went 3-1 in front. Oxlade-Chamberlain again made it 3-2, but eventually Roberto Alvarado with 2 and Sebastian Jaros with 1 made sure we got the 3 points. So after all of them fixtures during the January transfer period, this is how the league table looks. We are 3 points clear from Liverpool at the top of the table. They do have 1 game in hand, so they will go top should they win it, because, well, they might not, depends. They're only 1 goal behind us in terms of the goal difference, so it's likely that they would. Manchester City have dropped off a little bit. They are now 3 points behind us, haven't played 1 more game, so we could theoretically go 6 points clear from them in 3rd position. 4th place is still probably the hottest topic in terms of the Premier League so far. Arsenal sitting in 4th on 47 points, with Manchester United in 5th on 47. Chelsea have dropped off a little bit there in 6th on 43 points. Ibrahim has found his way out on the top goal scorer list, which is nice to see. We haven't had anyone there all season pretty much. Diogo Aquino's having a fantastic season for us in the centre of that park. He really is one of our major key players, and I will be resisting any offers from PSG should they end up coming. There is still 1 day left of the January transfer window. It's highly unlikely any more business is going to be done, so I'm going to end this episode here. We'll quickly review what we actually ended up doing. We brought in Veerman from PSV for £25.5 million. He's made a couple of appearances so far, looked okay. He is going to be back up to Sebastian Jaros though for the rest of the season. Juan Insfran, I think he's going to be our first choice left midfielder or left winger. Unfortunately for us, he's still away at the International Olympic Games qualifications. He should return by the 5th of February though, along with Antonio Carlos and Rodrigo Marquez. Carlos Julio has returned. Colombia must have been knocked out at one stage or another. So hopefully once those players come back, we'll be back to a full squad and we will be ready for the second half of the season. Next episode will of course be AS Monaco in the Champions League. We'll play both of them games and see if we can qualify from the Champions League first knockout round. Still plenty of football to play. We're in the hunt for the Premier League. We're in the final of the League Cup, which will be against Liverpool, who ended up beating Everton in the semi-final. We're into the FA Cup 5th round, so potentially another final there if we can continue our good form. We are still undefeated this season, apart from that League Cup semi-final defeat against Manchester United while we played the rotated side. I'm a little bit gutted about that. I probably should have played a full strength side just to keep the run going, but in terms of League and Champions League, we are undefeated, which is all that matters. But anyway, if you have enjoyed today's video, please consider leaving a like, and if you are enjoying my content, get yourself subscribed. But until next time, take it easy.